Today I'm going to show you how to build what I call a rabbit habitat or a rabbit bed, and pretty much free if you time it right and you don't even have to break out the chainsaw.
I just killed it. I just killed it. I just killed it.
What'd you do?
I got a doe.
Most of you know I love bow hunting and love small game hunting. So anytime that I can combine the two, it's going to be a good time. I've shot several squirrels and a couple rabbits with my bow, and really I want to do more of that. So today I'm out here building what I call a rabbit bed. It's fairly easy. I've put no money into this. I've actually got everything free from one hardware store, and if you time it right, you probably can do the same. I haven't even fired up a chainsaw, but if you had a chainsaw and wasn't able to do what I did, you could still go cut these potentially and make them this way. But if you time it right, you can go to a hardware store right after Christmas. They order a ton of trees for Christmas. They pre-order them. So if they don't sell them after Christmas, they're going to hold on to those. They don't want to, they want them out of their inventory. A lot of times, and I'm not saying they will, but you can just pick them up from them, so they're not holding on to them. And that's really what I did here. I have a bunch of Christmas trees. Now, also, I've got a pallet. And most of them have come from the same hardware store as well. I've worked retail for 11, 12 years. I know they pay to get rid of these pallets. So most of the stores, if it ain't against their policy, will give them to you if they're broken. Well, as long as you're not building any like furniture or anything like that out of them. You can get a lot of these, especially the broken ones. How these two combine is you can just pile them up like this, but then you don't have openings. Like you need some openings for them to get to. If you look down in here, very hard for anything to penetrate and get in there. But if you have this pallet, and I'll leave this end exposed, whenever I put all the limbs on top to create some cover, rabbit can still come in there. And I'm going to leave this end out. That end's going to stay out, like exposed, so that way they can get in there easy. And then I'm going to cover all of that. So the way the branches will lay and run, the main trunks, like there should be openings and stuff for them to actually be able to move through. So that's why I don't just pile them, because if you look, it's only going to get about 2 foot in there, and then it's kind of impenetrable. So the pallet definitely helps, and I staged several of these around. Like there's no specific way. This is a plot right by my house. You can probably hear my lamb, bottle-fed lamb, going crazy. But I have right back there one. There's another. I put them about 30-40 yards apart. There's going to be another one right there. So potentially I want to give these rabbits a place to go from a pile to a pile to a pile. If I get off work one day and it's not the perfect day to go deer hunting, I might just come up here and walk and kick a few of these piles and see if there ain't any rabbits out here in this plot. And I've seen several while bow hunting this year, and but I was after deer. But I do keep the deer hunting in mind when I'm building these. For instance, all those blocked a deer trail that the deer were coming out in this plot away from me down there. So I'm blocking a trail here, but I made this little horseshoe shape. Be a great place to set, snuggled up in here. Some camouflage, maybe shoot one from the ground, a deer if they're working the food plot. So I always have deer hunting in the back of my mind when I'm doing something, and that's going to be perfect for that. Perfect spot to come up and just set and ground hunt if I wanted to. Let's see, I get distracted when I start talking about deer. Back to the rabbit bed. It's blocking a trail here, so that is like 2 birds in one with one stone type thing. But I'm going to overlap. You can see, and that's going to create gaps and edges. Like, we don't want something like a fox or a coyote to be able to crawl through, but we still want to give gaps for a rabbit to be able to get in there. And you can see, like on this little shrub here, like I use some limbs to keep that cedar tree like a little bit propped up, so it's not laying flat. If they're laying flat on the ground, you know, it'll help some birds and stuff. But I'll show you real quickly how I put these on there, and it's very easy and it's free. It'll take you about 20-30 minutes. I brought several of these trees that I got up with my tractor earlier today, and you know, I've made about 5 or 6, and they'll help. I done this when I was younger. I done it on a lease that I used to have, and actually in the spring when I was turkey hunting, had a hen with a nest in there. So she nested right on the edge of one of these, and almost like a horseshoe, like what I created back there, she had a nest in. One of the best things you can ask for, in my opinion, is to do something that will help multiple species, multiple things on your property, versus just being, you know, single-minded or directly benefiting just one thing. So like I said, you can get these trees probably after Christmas from any hardware store that sells them, or you can just go fire up a chainsaw and cut you down several cedar trees. That's probably how, if I can't get any next year, I'll probably go cut a couple cedar trees and kind of add to them each year. One thing I want to add is, if you don't have pallets or you can't find pallet, you can use a old log or cut a tree down and use that tree and kind of teepee them. That will also provide really good cover. Growing up, we did that quite a bit, and we would go up to them. You know, I mean, we had 22s back then when I was younger, and kick that log or that brush, and a rabbit shoot out. And, you know, those were good times. And now I just love trying to get a little closer to everything and shoot more things with my bow. So if you have a rabbit bed idea or a way you do it, in the comments, definitely comment and let me know how. I'm all about learning more. Like, the way I do things is not the only way by any means. It's just the way that I do it, and when something's free, I'm going to do it that way. If it just requires a little bit of manual labor, how can you go wrong? So hopefully this fall I might have a bow hunt rabbit video to share with you guys, but just wanted to show you kind of this process. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting on these cedars and Christmas trees on top of this pallet and call it an evening. Good luck out there, be safe, and God bless.